Police K-9 clamped his teeth into a suitcase at the airport, and what he uncovered inside left the entire terminal in stunned silence. Before we dive in, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me, which country are you watching from? I love seeing the global community gather around these stories. Morning came crashing into the airport like a tidal wave. Metal carts screeched across the floors, babies wailed in strollers, boarding calls bounced around the walls, and the constant hum of rolling suitcases filled the air. Travelers looked tired, frantic, late, lost. Typical airport chaos. Moving calmly through the storm was Officer Mark Walker. Tall, steady, eyes sharp and constantly scanning. Beside him trotted his partner, Rex, a disciplined German shepherd with a hard, no-nonsense stare. His gait was smooth, controlled, calculated. Every sniff, every ear twitch carried purpose. To most people, Rex was simply another K-9 dog patrolling the terminal. But to Mark, he was family. They'd faced drug busts together, tracked fugitives through forests, searched buildings after bomb threats, and Rex had never once betrayed his instincts. Not once. They were halfway down Terminal C when Rex suddenly halted. 1 second, he was walking normally. The next, he stood frozen, muscles tense, ears pricked forward. His nose lifted as he drew in a long, slow breath. Then a low rumble vibrated deep in his chest. Mark immediately stopped. He had learned long ago, when Rex reacted like this, something was wrong. "What do you smell, boy?" he murmured. Rex didn't look at him. His stare locked onto a gray suitcase sliding around the baggage carousel. It looked like any other bag. Cheap fabric, a few scratches, a faded luggage tag. Nothing noticeable at all, until Rex lunged. He shot forward with explosive force. "Rex, heel!" Mark barked, pulling hard on the leash. But the dog wasn't responding. His instincts had taken over completely. He threw himself at the suitcase, teeth tearing through the material like it was paper. Passengers gasped and backed away. A few phones shot into the air, recording the scene. Security guards rushed over, confused, shouting orders. Mark's heartbeat slammed against his ribs. He had seen Rex show levels of alertness before, but never this combination of aggression and emotion. There was something personal pulsing through the growl in Rex's chest. "Everyone step back," Mark shouted. "Do not touch that suitcase." Airport officers immediately formed a perimeter, hands hovering over their holsters. One muttered under his breath, "Could be an explosive device." Mark's stomach tightened. Rex had never misidentified a dangerous scent. Never. He pressed his radio. "Dispatch possible 10 to 33 near Gate 12. Initiate lockdown procedures." Sirens blared over the intercom. Security rushed to evacuate the entire area. Families hurried away, dragging children and carry-ons with wide eyes. The once busy terminal turned into a frantic evacuation zone. But Rex didn't budge. His body hovered over the torn suitcase, every muscle rigid, his nose pressed firmly against the tear. The growl coming from him wasn't like any alert bark Mark knew. It was deeper, filled with something almost mournful. Mark knelt down beside him. "Talk to me, Rex. What did you find?" Rex barked sharply, a single urgent sound, then pawed at the suitcase gently, almost tenderly. He wasn't warning them away. He was trying to show them something. The bomb squad soon arrived in heavy gear. One technician reached for Rex's collar. "Bad move." Rex spun with a snarl, snapping so close he nearly tore the man's glove off. "Hold up." Mark grabbed Rex and pulled him back. "He's not attacking, he's guiding us. Let him work." The lead bomb tech scanned the suitcase with a handheld detector. After a moment, his brow furrowed. "No explosives," he said slowly. "But there's organic material inside." "Organic," Mark repeated. "Possible human blood." Silence slammed into the room. The tech crouched and carefully widened the torn seam of the suitcase. Inside was no weapon, no drugs. Instead, lying neatly folded, was a faded baby blanket, old, worn, stained with time. On top sat a small pile of photographs tied with a thin piece of string. Something in Mark's chest tightened. He reached out and gently lifted the blanket. A name was embroidered in the corner. Daniels. The world seemed to freeze. Officer Daniels, the previous handler assigned to Rex. The man who had trained him, lived with him, bonded with him. The man who vanished 5 years earlier during a covert investigation that was never solved. Rex whimpered softly. A sound Mark had heard only once before, the night Daniels disappeared. Mark picked up the photographs. The top one showed 2 smiling officers in uniform, a younger Daniels and a proud German shepherd sitting tall between them. Rex nudged the photo with his nose. "You remember him," Mark whispered. "Of course you do." The crowd around them had grown completely silent. No one dared interrupt. An officer spoke quietly. "So this suitcase belonged to your partner?" "His partner," Mark corrected gently, nodding at Rex. "And mine in spirit." "Then who put it here?" someone asked. "That's what we're about to find out." Under the photographs, tucked into a small plastic sleeve, was a flash drive. The moment Mark touched it, Rex stiffened again, as if confirming its importance. "All right, boy," Mark said softly. "Let's see what you brought me." Minutes later, they were in the airport security command center. Mark inserted the flash drive into a secure terminal. A folder appeared instantly. Operation Phoenix. Encrypted documents. Photos. Internal memos. Surveillance files. Mark opened the first decrypted report and felt a cold wave wash over him. Shipment logs. Fake clearance codes. Payoffs. A smuggling network routed through the airport. Evidence Daniels had collected before disappearing. And one name appeared over and over: Lieutenant Harris, Chief of Airport Security. Mark clicked another file. A surveillance still showing Harris shaking hands with a cargo worker, exchanging money. Luggage piles behind them. Mark turned toward the glass wall of the control room. Harris was standing right outside, pretending to talk on the phone. Their eyes locked. Harris ran. "Rex, go!" The chase exploded into the terminal. Harris shoved travelers aside, knocking over suitcases, sprinting toward an emergency exit. Mark followed, yelling for him to stop. Harris pulled a gun mid-run, spun, and fired once. The bullet smashed a display screen behind Mark. Rex launched like a missile. His paws thundered across the tile. He leapt, slamming into Harris with bone-shaking force. The gun clattered across the floor as the two tumbled. Officers swarmed in seconds later, wrestling Harris into cuffs as he shouted frantic excuses no one believed. The terminal fell silent in awe. Rex padded back to Mark, chest heaving, eyes shining with that fierce, loyal intelligence Mark trusted with his life. Mark knelt and scratched behind his ear. "Couldn't have done it without you." Back at the suitcase, the baby blanket still rested neatly on top of the damaged luggage. Mark placed his hand on the embroidered name, Daniels, and swallowed the knot rising in his throat. The police chief walked up behind him. "We reviewed the drive. It's the whole investigation, every part of the smuggling ring. Daniels' missing case. Everything. Your dog just solved a 5-year mystery." Mark shook his head slowly. "No," he murmured. "They solved it. Daniels and Rex, partners to the end." Rex pressed his head against Mark's shoulder. A soft, tired wag of his tail. "You finally got to say goodbye," Mark whispered. Rex licked his hand. Slow, gentle, full of meaning. Outside, first light slipped over the runway, bathing the airport in a soft golden glow. Travelers peered through the glass, whispering about the brave K-9 who exposed corruption and saved them all. Mark looked at Rex, exhausted, loyal, proud. "You brought justice today," he said quietly. Daniels would be proud. And for a moment, the noise of the world faded away. It was just a man and his dog, the last soldiers from a story no one thought would ever find closure. Maybe, in that warm morning light, Daniels was right there with them, smiling at the partner who never forgot him. If you believe loyalty never dies, hit that like button. And if this story touched your heart, type amen in the comments. Because some heroes don't wear badges. some wear fur, and sometimes justice arrives on four steadfast paws.